This is Matthew Kratter from Bitcoin University, and today I wanted to talk about why you should be the Bitcoin guy or the Bitcoin gal. This may seem counterintuitive, but I think if you pay attention to this video, it has the potential to make a huge impact on your financial life as well as your personal life. So if we're right, Bitcoin is going to be the new global reserve asset. It's going to replace all previous stores of value like US Treasuries and physical gold. It's also going to be an unstoppable medium of exchange that's widely used as a unit of account. In other words, people are going to start thinking in Bitcoin and pricing things in Bitcoin. So first step, it's obviously probably a good idea to own some BTC just in case it catches on, as Satoshi was famous for saying many years ago. But I think there's a second layer that doesn't get discussed as much as it should, and that's why I'm going to make this video. You shouldn't just own Bitcoin, but you should probably also try to be the Bitcoin guy or the Bitcoin gal. For example, Michael Saylor will forever be remembered as the first person to put Bitcoin on his balance sheet, on his corporate balance sheets. And so he had real first mover advantage. And this doesn't just have to do with the price of Bitcoin and what price MicroStrategy has been able to accumulate Bitcoin, but it also makes him a sort of authority on putting Bitcoin on corporate balance sheets, as well as a role model for other CEOs. Obviously, the other big example, and we're starting with really big examples here, but as you're going to see, there are smaller examples that we can all do. Becoming the first country to use Bitcoin as legal tender and to become so Bitcoin friendly as El Salvador and Bukele did is also a huge step. There's huge first mover advantage, but you can also do this at the level that you're at. We're not all billionaire CEOs. We're not all the presidents of countries, but here's a perfect example. Here's the Bitcoin hat guy who accepts Bitcoin for his hats, and he's known as the Bitcoin hat guy. And I think as Bitcoin continues to do well, this will be a huge advantage. There are lots of examples of this on Twitter. I went through my follows and was able to find a few of these, but I'm probably overlooking some obvious examples. So if I've overlooked you, please put your link or your information or your Twitter account in the description notes below and how you are the Bitcoin guy or Bitcoin gal. But here's an example. Ben Justman from Colorado calls himself the Bitcoin wine guy. I think this is a very, very smart way to position yourself. There's no one in California, there's no one in France, as far as I know, doing the same thing. So it really is an advantage from this perspective. You also have the Bitcoin beef guys, people like Jason Rich, who's also from Colorado. You have Texas Slim as a Bitcoin beef guy. I'm going to link to all these in the description notes below. I think another example of this is Bitcoin podcaster Peter McCormack buying Royal, I believe it's called Royal Bedford FC, buying this football club or soccer club. A lot of people said this was a dumb thing to do and why would you sell your Bitcoin to do? But I think it's actually a perfect example of how you can use Bitcoin to fulfill childhood dreams and to get things done in the real world. And I think Peter is positioning himself in a really good way here. If Bitcoin does what we think it's going to do, not only will his treasury, his corporate treasury for the team, begin to grow in value, but he really has put himself out there as the Bitcoin soccer or Bitcoin football guy. And as Bitcoin becomes an even more desired and admired brand, I think this can only help the football team. We have Senator Cynthia Lummis as the Bitcoin senator. We have Caitlin Long as the Wyoming Bank Bitcoin person. We have Elizabeth Stark as the Lightning Labs Bitcoin gal. And these are just, I could draw many, many more examples. We have Natalie Brunell, who left a career in journalism to do journalism for Bitcoin, which I think is a really smart career move. And so she'll be the Bitcoin journalist. Here's another example from 2017. And if you do this today, you will end up in one of these articles looking extremely prophetic as this Iowa college senior was betting big on Bitcoin. This is from December of 2017. Hopefully he followed through on it very early, very smart, much earlier than I was. Though you can see that what I've done this year is I've also positioned myself as the Bitcoin YouTube channel guy, Bitcoin University. It's a little bit of a pompous name. It comes from Trader University, and I never set out to be a university. I'm basically just a guy recording these videos in a home office. But this was the natural progression. And as my content moved from being about trading in general and stocks and options and futures and macro and became more and more Bitcoin and macro, it made sense to make this change, and I think this will serve the channel well going forward as we enter another bull run in the coming years. Bitcoin University will become a stronger brand, and it will ultimately be very good for Bitcoin as well. So I'd encourage you to look at your personal and business life and ask yourself, can you be the Bitcoin guy or Bitcoin gal as well? Because Bitcoin is this locomotive that's going to take you places if you hitch your train wagon to it. You can distinguish yourself by being one of the early people in your family, in your neighborhood, at your company, in your industry, etc., to embrace Bitcoin first. And because we're still so early, it means that there's still endless ways to be that Bitcoin guy or Bitcoin gal, and to really get ahead of the curve, be a leader in whatever neighborhood or industry, etc. And you can be the guy that people, or the gal that people turn to for support as they begin to learn more and more about Bitcoin. And this really helps to spread Bitcoin as a brand and to spread Bitcoin globally as this new best form of money. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Subscribing to the channel really helps me out with the algorithm. Leave a comment or a suggestion for a topic in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. Thanks a lot for watching and supporting this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.